This is the plaintiff, Jared Judson. He says he purchased a house from the defendant who left rubbish behind. The guy promised he'd have it removed, but lied. And here they are. He had to go out and hire someone to get rid of the leftover trash. He had to pay $500 to get the job done, and is suing the dishonest defendant for just that today. This is the defendant, Samuel Grossman. He says the plaintiff could have had the sanitation department take the stuff away from the investment property he sold him for free, but he decided to go out and hire someone to do the work. That wasn't their agreement when the closing took place. He's not wasting $500 on something that should have been done for free and isn't paying this guy a cent. He's accused of being a double-crosser.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Be seated, come to order, please.
That's alarming. Who put that there?
Litigants have been sworn in.
Jared Judson, you are suing Samuel Grossman and Alder LLC. You are the owner and you were a principal in the business and you were representing?
Yes.
Okay. For $500 for removal of rubbish that was his responsibility that he didn't remove. Okay, talk to me. You bought a house from him.
Bought a house from him. The day before the closing, we did a walkthrough, and he wasn't there. I did a walkthrough with the agent, listing agent, and there was all this garbage, construction material, metal pipes, bricks, pavers, garbage, just regular garbage, trash from people eating lunch. I mean, the garbage bags, there's a ton of garbage there. So,
so you go to the closing.
So I mentioned to the agent.
You do not go to the closing. You have your attorney there.
I was not at the closing, Your Honor.
Okay.
My attorney represented
All right.
me.
So you complained to the attorney, look, there's all this garbage and I want it gone.
Well, first I mentioned it to the listing agent who was with me at the final walkthrough, and she said, we'll take care of it at closing. So,
at closing, you bring it up and what happened?
Yeah, bring it up to the attorney, his attorney, and he didn't know anything about it. So he left the room. I don't know if he made a phone call to him.
Did your attorney call you from the closing and tell you that he wants it to be made part of the paperwork?
No, Your Honor, I was out of the States.
Okay. Well, your attorney was your representative there,
Indeed.
and according to the paperwork in the closing, he agreed on your behalf to have you be responsible to remove the garbage.
Indeed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then what happens? You close.
So at closing, he handwrites just a rider to the closing documents saying that it'll get taken care of.
Okay.
And so I waited. I called the law office a few days after I moved in, or the next week, and he said that the defendant was out of the country still. I have to wait till he gets back. So I waited to the date that he got back. I don't remember what day that was specifically. And I called again. I called his attorney's office many times, and finally said, well, he's going to stop by sometime and take a look to see what you're talking about. Then one day he rang my Ring doorbell. And I was out of town, and so I get it on my phone that he's there, and he asked me to call him. So I call his cell phone, and he tells me, like, look, I'm not taking care of this stuff. You must have persuaded my attorney somehow to write this contract up, but I never agreed to it, and I'm not taking care of it. He said, if you want, I'll take the white fence that was in the garage. I know about that. I'll take it to the curb for you. And I know that the sanitation doesn't take building materials, so I would get fined if that was out there. So I told him, no, don't do anything. And he said, well, if you don't like it, sue me. So that's what I did.
Okay, why don't you tell me about that visit to his house?
In fact, Your Honor, I have visited his location a few times. There was no answer. And apparently he forgets. In the agreement that was signed by my lawyer, which I have a copy here, it says it needed the final water bill. It needed to re-establish a door that was closed by me in order to obtain a CO, as well as some other garbage. The word garbage was never, so to speak, defined. The bricks that he's mentioning were made there as a nice way to have a seat there or whatever.
Have a what?
Like a seat, you know,
seat.
it was made. So it was never considered by us to be garbage. I came in to the location a few times, rang the bell, and
Unannounced.
Unannounced.
Yeah, well, okay.
Unannounced, okay? I'm not blaming anything. I just wanted to know what is all about. I have not seen any garbage on the street at all.
On the street?
On
It's
the
not
street, I mean,
it's
in
on
the
the
back.
property. All
On
right.
the property.
So
I have
you
not
have
seen
pictures
it.
of what we're talking about, right?
Yes.
All right. What is this here? I guess at some point this used to be a fire pit.
Yeah, I guess that used to be a fire pit. I wasn't so concerned with that
Okay.
so much.
What is this? These are
That
some.
was just a pile of, I don't know if that's the seat he's talking about, but that's just a pile of some kind of
Is that what you call
paver.
a seat?
These are bricks that were on the side of the fence there, which matched other part of the bricks. We left them there because we felt that if he has any broken of or anything like that, he would be able to use them.
Do these bricks match pavers that you have somewhere in the house?
No, they don't.
They don't at all?
No. I don't know what they're there for.
Okay, now we're looking at garbage,
This
because
is-
frankly,
this is
I'm
the main-
unimpressed with the other stuff.
Yeah, this is the main part. Yeah.
All right, so is this the fence you were talking about?
Yeah, that's the fence I had to remove from, anything you see there that's white, white vinyl, that's what I had to remove from the garage.
And where's the garbage you talked about?
Well, you see that bag on the left?
Yeah.
You can see little pieces of garbage. If you keep scrolling through the pictures, you'll see more garbage. You see a piece of wood along the fence. You'll see some metal pipes. You'll see some trash. You'll see,
Can I see the contract that got amended?
yes,
The actual closing notes? Let me see from both parties, please. What is this a picture of?
just showing you that it was taken care of.
All right. So when he tells you that, what's my dog doing in your, boy, it looks just like my dog. When he tells you, I'll bring this stuff to the curb, why are you telling him you'll bring this stuff to the curb? My understanding is you can't get rid of building materials like that.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. If I buy a house from you, do you have a duty to make it broom clean before I move in?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah,
Even if it's not in the contract?
I believe so.
What do you say?
I'd say it's the polite and generally widely regarded thing to do.
And I will buy that. Now the question, is it legal? It legally required.
I think if it's not in the contract, it's not required.
So you can leave it a mess.
Sure, why not?
Okay, going inside the courtroom.
First of all, this is not building material. This is an old steps that were there.
Okay,
He
you would get
installed-
fined for putting that on the street.
No, you don't, Your
Oh,
Honor.
so you do. I tell you what, why don't you take
I've
them off
done-
of his property and put them in front of your street, in front of your house? Since you can't get fined for it, that would have been a simple way to handle
Again, what I
it.
told him at the time, if you were to call the sanitation department,
Yeah, see, you don't understand. He doesn't want to have to do that. That's what you should do. When you own the house, you should call the sanitation department. You should go through that trouble. You should get fined or not. You should do that. See, that was what he worked into the rider, is that he doesn't have to go through 20 phone calls to your law firm chasing you to do what the rider was. Where's
Well, the rider was
This part?
the rider had
Yeah,
no
that's okay.
time limit in it.
Let's see what it says. In
The same thing.
consultation, in consideration of closing, seller agrees to obtain and pay the final water meter, clear all rubbish from rear yard,
I think that's what it says. Yeah.
okay, and to install door to basement as was existing at time of the original listing with the broker. I presume the water meter bill and the door have been fixed, right?
Oh, the water meter, the door was never fixed, but
You don't
I
care
gave
about
up on that.
Okay, so you do not remove the rubbish in the rear.
I did not remove the rubbish in the rear.
And you, according to you, you called a company and had them take it, and they charged you $500?
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot. Do you have proof that you paid that?
I have a invoice saying that I paid it and there's zero
Do you have?
balance.
Yeah, how'd you pay it?
Cash.
Let me see. Who are these people?
Just somebody that I was referred to,
By whom?
a friend.
Vinyl, metal, masonry, miscellaneous garbage, $500. Wow, it would have been so much easier for you to just take that stuff out.
It's part of the conversation that took place, Your Honor, was also the fact that my lawyer made a mistake by not doing over there. We reduced the taxes, which usually would have been done half and half at the time. The original taxes were $17,650, and they were reduced to $13,138, which caused a savings, which he was not aware at the time, because that was issued on January 11.
When was your
of a
closing?
saving on December 28, I believe. You have it there, signed on December 28.
So what you're saying is that you and your lawyer appealed the appraised value and you got a tax break and he benefited from it.
$4,500, and if he would have to do that, he would have to pay out of his pocket $2,200.
Yeah, but-
which I told him
So
that,
what?
and I said, this is a wash. I didn't
You
hear.
don't get, I know, but you don't get
Allow
to
me
say
to
that.
finish, please.
No, you let me finish. Let me
Okay.
interrupt you because
Please.
you're wrong on the law.
Okay.
You see, I understand what you're saying. You feel like he's being a jerk because efforts that you made with your lawyer to bring the tax base down worked, and therefore there was a savings for him. But so what? His obligation is to pay what the taxes are. You don't get to then say, hey, you know that house I sold you a year ago? I paid another attorney to lower the. This is something
By
that's
the
done
law, he would have had to pay half of
If
it.
you yell at me one more
No, I'm
time,
not.
I don't know what I'm going to do, but it's not going to look good. All right? You need to listen to me. Your lawyer made on your behalf an agreement to pick up the rubbish. You went there and you said, I'm not picking up the rubbish. I'll throw it all in front of your swale so that you could end up getting fined for throwing this junk on your swale. No, take it to your house, put it in front of your house so you can get fined. That's not the agreement you had with him. Your lawyer made an agreement on your behalf. All you have to do is pay somebody $50 or $100 to get it done, and instead, we are now in the position where he paid $500, which I think was a lot, and now he wants you to pay it. Guess what? $500, verdict for the plaintiff.
Well, Mr. Grossman, a deal is a deal. You made it through your lawyer, and you got to pay the $500 back to him.
I guess so.
You okay with that now? I mean, you're not happy, I know.
Well, I was under the assumption with the conversation that I had with him that that was more than a wash.
Well,
apparently, he
it
did not
wasn't.
agree. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but it's okay.
Okay, good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, Mr. Judson, was it worth coming to court
Yeah, it was worth it.
for $500?
It was worth it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was almost like a just wanting to win the battle. The money, I wanted to get reimbursed, but it was more his stubbornness was what, made me bring him to court. So.
Well, good for you. All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, good enough. Thank you very much. Harvey, what do you think?
Okay, I will say this. Even if there's nothing in the contract that talks about how you have to leave the house when you sell it to somebody, if you leave garbage behind, I think that the buyer can make a case that he can hire somebody to remove the garbage and you can charge the seller for that amount. I think you can make a case for that.